Welcome back to Living in Sacramento, California. We are here today because there's been a lot of misconceptions that we're hearing out on the news, radio. It's a huge talk right now in the real estate world about this N.A.R lawsuit.
Huge.
So we wanted to throw our opinions out there as we are some realtors and we are dealing with this ourselves. So I think the first thing that we should probably talk about is the misconception of all of these changes people are talking about when there's really only two.
Only two. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
It's two.
It's two. One.
Those two simple things that have changed, we're going to tell you what those two simple things are and how really it's going to change our real estate business for the better.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. Let's go. Let's deep dive into the two simple things.
It's very, very simple. It's very, very, like a lot of agents are freaking out about this. A lot of buyers, a lot of sellers. I just think it can all be simplified, and we're actually kind of glad this came about because I think it's going to definitely put more clarity into the real estate world.
Yeah. So Candace, let's go ahead and dive into the first.
Yeah, the first one.
First one. Dive into the first one.
Yeah, so the first one is going to be the MLS. So currently on the MLS...
Hold on one second, Candace. What's the MLS?
Oh, the MLS is a multiple listing service, and they are different in different counties, and they're different in different states. They're all over the place.
But who owns it?
So it depends on where you're at.
N.A.R owns the MLS.
All of them.
All of them.
Oh, see, that's something I learned now.
Well, yeah. So because I've done a deep dive to an extent, N.A.R owns all the MLS services, and all realtors have to be a part of their MLS and pay their dues to N.A.R.
Yes.
in order to be able to advertise listings or see listings or be in our real estate world.
Right. I mean, we already have to be a part of the 3 different levels. You have to be an associate on the county level, like we're a part of Placer County here in California. And then you have to be part of the California Association, your state level, depending on your state. And then N.A.R, which was what we're talking about, the National Association of Realtors.
Yes.
So then, the MLS is this multi-listing service. So when you have a listing and we're working with a seller, you put in the pictures, all the information, and that actually feeds through to Realtor.com, Zillow, all of those sites that people are finding those on the internet.
Right. So all those sites you go to, Trulia, like Candace was saying, all of that, all the feed is, they get all that information from the MLS, but we put in there.
Yes.
That's another thing why Realtor is important, is because there's limited information on those sites.
Oh, very much
Very limited information. Anyways, we'll get back to the topic at hand because we could just talk about this stuff forever. Yeah. So I just wanted the MLS explained a little bit.
Yeah, so the first change that's happening is currently on the MLS, there is a section on there that discloses how much commission is given to the buyer's agent up front.
Whether it's a percentage or a flat fee.
Yes. Yeah, and so now that's going away. The advertising of a commission is not going to be put on the MLS service anymore.
Basically, let's simplify that. That section's just deleted.
Yep.
Big whoopity-doo.
Which is a great thing because, I mean, in all honesty, as an agent, ethical issue, if you are looking for the commission rate and how much you're going to get paid off of whatever home, that's an ethical violation. So
yes, it is.
But, again,
let's be honest.
Glad that it's gone.
I mean, I'm not saying, I know that we are in a very ethical business, but let's be honest, not everybody is ethical. So, for example, why we wanted to say that we're glad that's going away is because if you're offering 3% and there's another home kind of offering 2.5%, the buyer's agent is more than likely going to incline their client to go to 3%.
Yeah.
Home. I'm not saying that that's not ethical and that's not okay.
Right.
And it's
I think it's going to weed out those agents that may have been doing that. So again, another reason why we are excited for that change, because it's going away, and those people that were unethical.
It makes the terms very clear.
Yeah.
Makes the terms very clear. It keeps you honest. If you haven't been already.
Yeah, it gives a lot more clarity, and it's going to show a lot more of people's value as an agent. You're going to have to show your value instead of
opening a door and saying, hey.
Yeah, this is the one you should go with. Not, you know, this meets all of your needs. This is the bedroom count you need. This is the neighborhood you need. You know, it's a great commute for your job. Whatever you're actually looking for, someone's actually going to have to provide that service.
Right. So let's go to number 2.
Yeah.
Okay. The second thing that's changing is a buyer's broker agreement.
Yes.
And the buyer's broker agreement is an agreement between you and your buyers, between your realtor and your buyers, saying that you're hiring them for the representation of you, or the buyer. I'm not making this simple.
No. So let's back up here. First of all, we're in California. This N.A.R's lawsuit that all came about actually occurred in Missouri. So I'm not aware of all the Missouri laws or things like that, because I only study California.
Yeah, because we're not in Missouri.
Right. I only practice with my real estate license here in California. So patients in California ones, we've already been using that buyer broker agreement. Like it's
That's
something
already in
that
place.
California's Association of Realtors have already put into place. So I think it helps with a lot of those agents that weren't using that document before. Now it's going to be a required document no matter what.
So that buyer broker agreement, we have to use it now before we are allowed to open any doors for you if you tour any home. The conversation of commission is going to be had with that buyer.
Yep.
Whether it's the seller paying the commission to the buyer's agent or the buyer paying the buyer's agent. Anyway, so everybody is clear up front what they're getting into, which is fine with me.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to drop the 11th hour.
No, I mean, who wants to be in the middle of a contract and you've worked through those contingencies, you've worked through negotiations, everything looks perfect and you're so excited, you know what your closing date's going to be, and you're all excited to get there as a buyer or a seller because it's an emotional roller coaster on either side.
Oh, especially if you're contingent too.
Yeah. Ooh. And then in the final hour, the last thing that you want to talk about is commissions, and it fall apart because commission, like that's ridiculous.
Here's the thing. And when we go on the listing appointments, we already talked about the commission with our sellers.
Yeah.
It's part of our listing package. We go in there, we discuss commission, we discuss the different areas. We discuss the different reasonings, why it's good to pay a buyer's agent, why it's good to give some of the commission to them, what benefits you, the seller, to have that buyer's agent involved, because really, I'm a listing agent. I'm representing you. I want to protect you at all costs.
Well, I think that we should actually talk a little bit more about that, to be honest, because we were just watching some videos ourselves, to hear other people's opinions, other agents, and not just agents in California. I mean, this is nationwide. So I've been listening to agents that actually are in Missouri. I've been listening to agents in Florida, Tennessee, all over the place. And some of those agents were discussing the fact that, let's say a buyer doesn't have agent representation and we're helping somebody with a listing, and that buyer goes, okay, I want to make an offer. Okay, great. Send me your offer, and they're like, well, how do I do that? That's not my job. I don't have I can't say the word.
Fiduciary duty.
I don't have that fiduciary duty. to you as a buyer. My duty
is to the seller.
I represent them. I have a contract with them. So you need to go out there and get that contract paperwork for yourself. Maybe go hire a lawyer to do it. And guess what? That lawyer is going to charge at least $2,000 or more.
Well, everybody charges. Nobody's going to work for free.
Exactly.
It's just narrowing our service.
Right.
That's it.
And I mean, even if it was like, let's say it was friends or family, most of the time an agent still charges a tiny bit, and that's because there's errors and omissions. I mean, there is still legal retaliations that can happen. So we have insurance for that. There's a lot of fees and things behind the closed doors that, buyers and sellers are not aware of.
Mm-hmm. Well, quite frankly, whether you're a listing agent or a buyer's agent, there's lots of fires that come up during a transaction.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully the seller and or buyer, whatever side you're representing, aren't filling all those fires. That's why we're here. We're here to put those fires out, make it a smooth transaction. And yes, it's a very stressful time to buy a home. You could go through all kinds of emotions, whether you're buying or selling. There's just a lot of moving parts and a lot of different people involved. However, that's why we're here to help guide you, smooth that out, and make it seamless.
Yeah, because we've been through this process and we've probably seen an issue like that pop up before. That's where experience and knowledge, all of those things that come into play, add value to us as agents, because then we are better able to help you. And again, another reason why I'm so glad all of this is coming about, because that value and that experience is going to be so important now. And then,
so we are, just to be clear, we are for the changes. We're totally fine with them.
Oh yeah, not a problem. I really think that a lot of agents are going to leave the industry.
Yeah, and the great part about that, the true professionals will be here to serve their clients, and that's a really positive note. Okay, so as a seller, Candace, why would it be beneficial to me to pay a buyer's agent?
Well, I think first and foremost, everybody wants the best market value that they can get for your home. Highest and best, right? That's the number one thing we do when we have a multiple counter situation is, you know what? Instead of asking for X price, you send them highest and best. Well, how many people are going to be submitting offers? How many people know how to submit an offer without an agent? And you want
the laws, the guidelines, inspection periods, earnest money deposits.
Yeah. Title companies, insurance companies. There's a lot of other people involved other than just agents. And the agent helps coordinate and make that all run smoothly.
We're the first person you see and the last person you see.
Right.
And we're like puppet masters.
Yeah, so I think
we two puppet masters, I guess, and we're both trying to organize and coordinate so everything goes good, people stick to their timelines, all of that good stuff. Anyway.
Yeah. So I think in order for a seller to get that highest and best, it's kind of like what we do as being listing agents. We want to get the maximum exposure to bring as many people in as we can. And if you're telling that listing agent, I'm not going to be paying the buyer's agent, understand what that financially means to a lot of buyers. If we flip the switch and we are buyer's agent and we're representing that buyer,
we have to step out. We're not getting paid.
Right. Nobody's going to work for free.
We're not going to get paid, so therefore you can't get the expertise of a realtor. So
right, exactly. And don't let us stop you from buying the home of your dreams.
Absolutely not. You guys, anybody can go buy a home on their own. Yep. It's whether or not you want the valuable asset of a real estate agent to help guide you through that process. Because let's be honest,
the knowledge, the experience to actually get
through a transaction.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's the title companies, there is contingencies, which if you don't know what contingencies are and you want to buy a home, I'm really, really scared for you. Because there are a lot of contingencies in the deadlines. There, I mean, just the registered residential purchase agreement there is 10 pages, 16 pages.
Yeah.
And there's tons of contingencies, which we have that buyer's video. You can go back and look at it.
And don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are people out there that can do this, and kudos to you.
Right.
But most of the people don't know how to do these transactions. They don't even know where to start.
Right.
And that's where we bring your value to you.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that they're going to sidestep and go, okay, well, I can save on that buyer's agent commission and not have to pay, represent myself. I'm going to go directly to the listing agent. And like we said in the beginning,
but what do you think they're going to say to that listing agent? Oh, the house is $500,000, so can I have it for $475 since you're not paying a buyer's agent?
No. That seller
the seller wants $500.
Yeah, the seller is not going to devalue their home just because they don't have to pay the buyer's agent. They would pay the buyer's agent if they didn't care about losing that money.
Right.
If that made any sense.
Here's the other thing to that is why it's a good incentive to pay a buyer's agent as a seller. We have always had those conversations in the listing agreements with the sellers about commission and it being negotiable.
Yeah.
Everything in this process has been. I've plenty of times in my transactions given concessions to the buyers. Plenty of my transactions that I've told the seller, hey, it's all situational. Every transaction's like a box of chocolates. I know I'm sounding like that, but it's true. You never know what you're going to get. It's a case by case. Yeah.
And that's
everybody's different.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are thinking that this is a, straight across the board situation, and it's not. I mean, even before this N.A.R situation came up, you can actually see that every single commission that a seller was offering was different. Some would be at 2%, some were at 1%, some were 3%, some were 4%. Yeah. I mean, it is completely negotiable and it always has been. And the biggest time that I think it was brought to the public's eyes was during COVID.
Yep.
Because during COVID, that was a huge thing is a lot of buyer's agents were actually negotiating lower commissions for themselves so that their buyers would actually win.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this has always been around. It's just now all of a sudden it's being brought to light, and I don't think a lot of people paid attention before.
No, they haven't. And for the select states that didn't have it, again, California has always had that. California Association of Realtors have always had these things in place. The buyer broker agreement, and like I said, the very simple, the section where it says buyer agent commission, poof, it's just gone.
Yep.
It's not that big of a deal.
Two simple changes that are happening. And I think it's causing a lot of misinformation from news channels, which I've seen it myself. I watched the news and I'm just like, you're lies.
Don't listen.
Yeah, I think that you definitely want to talk to your realtor. Hopefully it's us. If it's not, please go talk to your favorite realtor, the person that you like to use, and get it directly from that realtor's mouth. Hopefully they have the knowledge and the experience to kind of talk you through it. If they're freaking out, I'd be a little worried, because the ones that understand it, we're not really freaking out that much. No. We're kind of glad that this has come about, because it's going to bring better clarity, more value, and a lot more professionalism to our industry, which is what our industry really, really needs.
Yes, it does. I agree. So I think we nailed it.
Yeah, if you guys have any other questions though,
comment, contact us. If you have any thoughts and you want to share them with us, and
even if you're other agents in other states or other counties, you may even be our neighbor. I don't care.
Right.
Let us know, comment, give us all of your good feedback. We are here for it.
Absolutely. So we welcome it all, and we're always here to support you. And I hope you found value in our conversation today.
Absolutely. Hopefully this clears up a lot of the misconceptions that are out there. And we want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.